So, of course, the saddening news, unfortunately, today, everybody getting the news that Scott Bloomquist, at 60 years of age, has passed. Crazy, it is the same date that Elvis passed away. Almost fitting, in a sense, that is the case, because I feel like this was the Elvis for the dirt late model racing world. I mean, is there another guy out there that you could compare Scott Bloomquist to? Maybe in success and wins and victories, but as far as aura, as far as personality, as far as a person, who they are, what they've done, how they stand, innovations in the sport, thoughts, just out there, the entertainment element as well, the aliens, all of it. I don't think there was anybody else in this maybe dirt racing sport period, outside of just dirt late models, that was on the degree that Scott Bloomquist was. Obviously, there is a lot of question marks. Like, wow, how does this happen randomly? So early in the morning, plane crash. For those who don't know it, it seems like from reports and initial investigation, Scott Bloomquist was flying one of his planes and crashed into one of his barns on his property. I'm not sure. It was the barn with the Pan Am on it. I'm not sure. I'd have to go look at the Flow documentary again. I'm not sure if that's the shop that he first built when they first got the property or whatever like that. But it's somewhat around a crash landing. So there was some kind of situation where Scott was attempting to land or in that same vicinity attempting to land, and crashed head on straight into a barn, and we lost Scott Bloomquist in that moment. Now, apparently there was a lot of things going good for Scott. There were some behind the scenes things in the racing industry that were happening. Kind of two, powerhouses combining from the people I was discussing this with. And it was very interesting. Recently, or just this last couple of days, we saw a Barry Wright house car with Dennis Erb Jr. Come out and was racing over there in Illinois. And apparently, from my sources, you had a somewhat of a combining of the masterminds of Barry Wright and Scott Bloomquist were about to start and were in the process of developing some style of a partnership to start mass producing Barry Wright house cars with assistance from Bloomquist style of deal, almost like a Longhorn by Wells or something. So that was some good things. I mean, there was some good things potentially being brewed up and happening. And no matter how many of those good things that were happening in the racing world, it seems like, something just didn't want it to happen. Now, what that something is, obviously it looks like an accident. We don't know anything further for a fact, at least. There's a lot of speculation out there trying to judge intent or this or that or the other. There seems to be a lot of people with some, in my opinion, credible knowledge that do lean towards intent, but we don't know this for a fact. In that area of some type of intent, it's like, how could you fathom that happening? Why would that occur? And I'm sure everybody in our lives daily, we go through a bunch of stuff that, heck, just you and your personal family life within your house. There's probably things that are said or happen or that are going on that once you go out to work your 9-to-5 job, once you step outside and go get you a coffee or something like that, no one knows about those things. No one knows about what's happening or your own personal hardships or, things that are happening or situations that may be weighing on you. And once again, do we know that was playing a factor here? I don't know. But for those out there who want to continually lean in that direction, and for those Scott Bloomquist diehard fans that, you know, potentially are like, wow, that did that happen? In the potential scenario where that was a factor and intent was at play, you could say that it's hard to understand, but at the same time, with the barriers that life throws at you, heck, I experienced this myself, you know, the challenges day in and day out that we all do endure, physically, emotionally, financially. It's tough. Life is not tough, is not easy, guys. Some people, even some of the most successful people, for instance, in the financial sectors, you know, I've met a lot of millionaires and a few billionaires over the years doing what I've done, and got to know them. And, you know, even some of those, you would be surprised how many of the most powerful people that you know of, or visually successful people that you know of, are some of the saddest. Sad about ex-relationships, sad about relationship with their son or their daughter, or sad about a dad, or just it doesn't even have to equate to financials for a lot of people and their stress, even though it seems like globally we view it as financial success will release all the emotional, you know, traumas that we have, and that's just not the case. So in that, once again, unconfirmed, probably not true scenario where there's intent behind this scenario and people are trying to say reasons and this, that, and the other, I would say to anybody who may be going through any kind of stress, not saying this is, once again, unconfirmed, not happening, but the topics just randomly come up now, that really focus on the fact that you have value, you are a person that is worthy of it, and that a God is real. And as long as you believe that someone has a plan and a destiny for you of greatness, then no matter what shade the world throws at you, that greatness will never be covered up. These videos that I feel responsible to make when something like this happens are not easy to make. If I made mistakes, if I said something wrong, or you're offended or upset or this or that or the other, I'm sorry. It's not intentional. Rest in peace, Scott Bloomquist, a GOAT, a man a character we will probably never see again. People try to emulate it, imitate it. They never even will get close. But it is a sad day in the racing world, and hopefully we can cherish that memory of Scott Bloomquist. And as far as what happened in the whys, it really don't matter, guys. We've lost Scott Bloomquist. It's gone. It's over. But the memory will stay, making history, going down in the history books, is something that Scott Bloomquist was really good at doing. And even though the physical being of Scott Bloomquist is gone, the spirit, the life, the determination, the overall aura of Scott Bloomquist, I think, is going to live for a very, very long time.